Poseidon versus Athena, who would win? Let's find out. Once upon a time, the city of Athens was just a small village. It needed a patron to protect and help its citizens. It had been chosen because of its ideal location. Right in the middle of a fertile plain surrounded by mountains, rivers, and the sea. But being in the middle of everything also meant that everyone wanted this prime piece of real estate. And so two powerful deities went head-to-head in a contest to see who would become the patron of the Athenians. Poseidon, god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses, and Athena, goddess of wisdom, handicraft, and warfare strategy. And so the contest began. First up, Poseidon looked over the city and thought long and hard about what he could do to impress them. After all, he was one of the most powerful gods, maybe even the most powerful god in some tellings. His hammer could smash mountains, and his trident could shake the earth. So what did he do? He brought all of his power to bear and smote the rock before them with his mighty trident. The ground shook. The people were terrified. And then from the rock burst forth the most beautiful white horse anyone had ever seen. And not just any horse, but according to Hesiod, a divine breed of horses known as hippocamps, the offspring of sea nymphs and seahorses, which had the ability to pull chariots across the land and the sea. This was a sight the Athenians had never seen before, and Poseidon expected them to be impressed. And they were. But then, Athena stepped up. She didn't have a big booming voice like her brother Apollo, or an impressive godly weapon like her father Zeus. Instead, she offered them something simple, an olive tree. It's not just any olive tree though, but the most fruitful olive tree in the world. A single fruit from this tree would yield enough oil to feed the entire city for an entire year. And if that wasn't good enough, the tree was sacred to her, meaning that its branches would never bend under the weight of two. Many olives and its roots would never run dry. But the people were confused. Was this supposed to impress them? They liked the white horse. It was strong, majestic, and beautiful. What was this spindly little tree going to do for them? That was for Poseidon and Athena to find out. They called the people together and asked them what they thought. Which gift was better? A magnificent white horse or a fruitful olive tree? And the people argued back and forth. Poseidon's supporters said that a city without horses is a weak city, a city that can't defend itself. Without horses, you can't wage war. You can't transport goods. And without the ability to mount a defense or bring in food, your city will fall. But Athena's supporters argued that horses are unpredictable, expensive, and dangerous, requiring large amounts of grain to feed them and handlers to care for them. And when they're not used, they can trample someone to death, especially children. But an olive tree, now that's useful. Its fruits can be turned into oil for cooking. Its wood can be used to build houses, ships, and furniture. And what's more, it doesn't require you to feed it or take care of it. You just let it be, and it provides for you. The people still couldn't decide, so their leaders decided to settle it by giving each side for days to prove themselves. For 3 days, Poseidon's horse ran through the city, pulling a chariot like a team of oxen. Then every branch on the olive tree bore fruit, showering the city in olives. At the end of day 4, Poseidon's horse hadn't done anything new, and the entire city was covered in olives. It was clear to everyone which side had won, and so the people chose Athena to be their patron. Now, there are a few different versions of this myth, but the most popular version has it that Poseidon was furious. His horse was beautiful, strong, and swift, yet these ungrateful mortals preferred a measly tree. So he unleashed a flood to punish them. But Athena built a wall around the city to keep them safe. Or perhaps fearing that the other gods would take pity on the Athenians and go against him, he sent a giant named Alcyoneus to terrorize the countryside. But Athena transformed herself into a bird and flew down from Olympus to take part in the battle. When she realized that she couldn't defeat the giant on her own, she called for help and a snake bit Alcyoneus on the heel, causing him to die. Then Athena ran away with the winged sandals Hermes had given her, and then she killed the giant with a stone from her magical sandal. She built an altar on top of his grave and placed a bronze statue at its base to commemorate her victory. And so the people honored her as their patron forever, naming their city after her. Poseidon may have lost this contest, but he wasn't completely left out. The Corinthians claimed to be descendants of Poseidon's horse, and the god granted them the power of prophecy as payment. Another version says that Poseidon was so angry at losing that he flooded the plain. creating the Aegean Sea, and he cursed the city to always be at war with their neighbors. In another version, he was simply embarrassed and tried to make things right by giving them a second gift, a dolphin. Dolphins are smart, graceful, and playful, but they're also deadly predators. Their teeth are sharp, and they're strong enough to drag a full-grown human underwater with ease. Poseidon gifted them with a bronze statue of himself on a dolphin, but the people considered this a war trophy and built a temple to Athena, the victor, instead. So Poseidon threw a tantrum, sending earthquakes and pestilence to ravage the land. Then Athena appeased him by granting his son Theseus the power to slay the monster Procrustes. So how did the Athenians honor their patron goddess? They built her a temple on the Acropolis, a fortress overlooking the city. Inside the temple, they stored her statue made of gold and ivory and surrounded by 42 olive trees, one for each tribe of the city. The statue was a masterpiece, sculpted by the famous artist Phidias, who also designed the Parthenon. And it showed Athena wearing a magnificent helmet decorated with a golden crescent moon and an owl on each side. She was dressed in a flawless breastplate adorned with 102 embossed patterns, each representing a different hero. She held a shield emblazoned with Medusa's head in one hand and a spear in the other. And on her right side sat a tiny owl holding an olive branch. Her left hand rested on an elaborate throne decorated with lilies and pomegranates, which symbolized the prosperity and abundance that she brought to her followers. It's easy to understand why the Athenians would prefer the gifts of Athena to those of Poseidon. Her gift provided them with sustenance, protection, and building materials, whereas his gift required upkeep, was easily spooked, and could kill someone with a kick. An olive tree is a symbol of peace, but a war horse is a symbol of destruction. And Athena represented wisdom and strategy, whereas Poseidon represented the untamed forces of nature. So the fact that they chose Athena shows that they valued peace and prosperity over war and conquest. That's why they became such an intellectual powerhouse, becoming the home of democracy and philosophy and producing the greatest sculptors, playwrights, and scientists of the ancient world. They built the Parthenon, the tallest and grandest temple ever built, which served as a repository for the greatest works of art. They invented the first known system of government where the people were in charge. And they were at the center of the scientific revolution, inspiring men like Anaximander, Pythagoras, Euclid, and Archimedes. All of these advancements came from the lessons that Athena taught them and the blessings that she bestowed upon them. So next time someone says that you're too nerdy, say, "Look at me, I'm the patron deity of nerds." If you want to learn more about the Greeks, check out the series in the description. And thanks to our supporters for making these videos possible.